A friend of mine has changed all the doors in his house, so he gave me the old doors. Because those doors were made in hardwood, I thought it was worth the effort to recycle the wood. First I removed the hinges, the locks and the knobs, and I used the metal detector to make sure I had removed all the metallic pieces. So now I will remove these strips. This door is newer than the others, and I can remove the strips easily if I hit them with a hammer. And I also could use end cutting pliers to get rid of all the nails. But to make sure there isn't any metallic piece left, I use the metal detector. The other doors are older, and it is not easy to remove those strips. It looks like if after all the coats of varnish they had since they were made, the varnish had glued the strips. So I have to use a chisel to break them. But I must be careful so I don't hit a nail with the chisel. So I must put the chisel to one side or to the other side. If I hit with the chisel against one nail, I will nick the chisel's edge. It took me a lot of time to get rid of all those strips in these old doors. The main problem now is that the nails are very rusty, and they break when I use the pliers. So later I will use the metal detector to mark all the places with a nail. So now I will cut the edge all around the doors. First I cut the bottom rail, and then I will cut the stiles and the head of the door. I set my circular saw jig. I make sure the disc is at 90 degrees with the saw base. I plug the saw in and I cut the edge of the bottom rail. Okay, I forgot to clamp the door so it doesn't move. So I use a couple of clamps to clamp the door. I cut the edge of that stile. I move the door. And I keep cutting. I usually use spring clamps to clamp the jig, but if I press hard with the saw, sometimes I move the jig, so it is better to use metallic clamps to clamp the jig. Now, here we can see the tenon in the edge of this stile. This tenon is part of the bottom rail, and I want to recycle the stiles, but I cannot recycle that end with the tenon. So I will use the jigsaw to cut the end of the stiles, and I will also take the rails away. Now I cut the panel to take the stiles away. The panels are thicker than what I thought, and they look quite nice, so I think I can use them to make some project. Now I can do the same with the other door. And I still have another 4 doors. In total I have 6 doors. Now these are the rails, and in the ends they have the end of the stiles. So I will use the table saw sled to get rid of the end of the stiles. I also have to cut the lock stiles to get rid of the lock holes. Now these pieces of paper show the places where I couldn't remove the rusty nails. There is a rusty piece of nail here, not here, but here there is another one. So this is a piece of nail like the ones that are yet inside the wood in the rails and in the stiles. And this is the groove to fit the panel in, and it looks like the nails go deeper than the groove. So I will cut 5 mm away from the tip of the nails, because my saw disc makes a 3 mm curve. Then I measure and I mark the width for cutting the hinge stiles. That way I make sure I won't cut on the nails. And this is the hinge style I got from the newer door. No nails in this one, so I will only cut the panel groove. And the same in the two pieces I got from the lock style of the newer door. I do the same with all the rails. I measure to make sure I won't cut on the nails, and I cut them. And despite the vacuum cleaner, I have all that sawdust under the table saw. Now all the rails and the stiles are the same thick but different width. So I make groups with the same width, so I can plane all the pieces of each group with the same thickness planer settings. Then first I plane the edge of all the pieces of the first group. I must remember which face of the piece is looking down, so I keep them with that face looking down. Now I set the planer to plane the other edge of the pieces of the first group, and I plane them with the same face looking down. Now I put against the fence the face that was looking down, and I plane the other face to remove the varnish. And finally I plane the face that was looking down, to remove the varnish. Now I still have to plane another group of pieces. These ones are some wider. And I also have some pieces that are wider than my planer, so I won't plane them now. When I use them to make some project, I will probably cut them, so I will plane them then. And after planing most of the pieces I got from the doors, here we can see one of the pieces I've already planed. Now I need a good project to use this nice wood. But I think I have enough wood to make more than one project, because I could reclaim more wood than expected. Thanks for watching. If you think this is an interesting video, don't forget to like and to share it. Remember that you can find all my woodworking videos in my channel in YouTube. And if you like my videos, thanks for subscribing to my channel.